This past week on eBay, my sales were up 47% from the week before. But here's the thing, I didn't list anything new, I didn't ship anything, I didn't do any promoted listings, and I didn't even run a sale in my store. So did I hack the eBay algorithm, or do I have some kind of super secret eBay cheat code? Stick around to find out, and also here's some of the cool stuff that I sold this past week. I recently had the best Goodwill haul that I've ever had. I'll put that video up here, but it's still paying off. And this is a pair of Allen Edmonds Park Avenue men's cap toe Oxfords. Paid $6.50 for these at that Goodwill, and they sold for $70 in like 2 weeks. Saw a Facebook Marketplace listing where a guy was selling 8 ping putters for 160 bucks. It's not great. That's $20 a piece. Most of them sell for between 30 and 40. Not really worth the trouble. But then I saw this one in the listing. It kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. This is a Ping B60 putter, and it's made of beryllium copper. Beryllium copper is definitely something you want to be on the lookout for. Very collectible, and they go for a lot more than the regular Ping clubs. Paid, well, like I said, 180 for all of them, and this one just sold for 135. Now I can sell all my other ones for $30 or $40 a piece. Still a pretty good profit. These unassuming, kind of dirty Adidas shoes just sold for $115. And I picked them up for $6.50 at Goodwill. The reason they sold for that much, it's right here. They're actually weightlifting shoes. Now, I don't know what's special about them that makes them weightlifting shoes, and that doesn't really matter. I just saw that they were unique, looked up the number on the inside, saw they had some good value. Like I said, I paid $6.50 and they sold for $115 after a couple of weeks on eBay. I've sold Marklin train stuff before. I actually picked up a set on Facebook Marketplace for 100 bucks, ended up selling it for like $5.50. So I know they make good stuff, and I saw a Marklin transformer sitting on a table at a thrift store. Decided to look it up, and also it had this locomotive sitting next to it. They wanted $25 for it. Seemed like a good deal. Sold the transformer for $59.50, and this Marklin Lucy locomotive sold for $110. So I'd be lying if I told you I knew exactly what this thing is. It's some kind of RV power transfer switch. I'm not really sure. I actually found it at one of those Amazon bin stores, paid $6 for it. It was new in the box. The box was beat up, so I took it out and I'll ship it in my own box. But I paid $6 for it, and it sold in like 3 days for $139. These Patagonia Cinchilla fleece pullovers are absolutely one of my favorite things to find at a thrift store. They always sell really well and for some decent money, and I just kind of like the different cool patterns that they have made them in. This one is like an Aztec pattern. Still can't believe I found it at Goodwill for $5.75. It's in basically mint condition. Also still can't believe that it sold for $149 on eBay after about a week. I've mentioned this brand before because I sold this same item 2 weeks ago. This is a Graco Contractor PC Compact Paint Sprayer. Picked up 2 of these at one of those Amazon bins return stores, paid $6 a piece. The first one sold in a couple of days, and this one sold in about 2 weeks for $205. So definitely be on the lookout for Graco Contractor like painting equipment. Stuff sells pretty quick. So I told you guys that I increased my sales this past week 47% over the week before without listing anything new, without promoted listings. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even here. I was in Texas. So how did I do it? The short answer is I'm not real sure. You see, before I left, I actually bulk edited all my listings to change the handling time on each listing to 5 days. That would give me enough time to go on this trip and get back, be able to ship everything on time. And that to me pretty much sparked something on eBay. I basically touched and refreshed each one of my 1,200 listings. And that kind of brought things to the top of search results in my opinion. And you'll see in the video that I sold some stuff that I've had for quite some time. To me, changing the handling time and basically editing each one of the listings kind of refreshed my eBay store. As a matter of fact, when I got back, I actually changed the handling time again to my normal 2 days, and it saw another bump. I had a $300 day that day. So maybe there's something to this. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. Does changing that handling time on all your listings actually help promote your listings? Let me know. So raise your hand if you're old enough to remember Showbiz Pizza.
This pizza is so good.
We make the dough fresh every day. Pile on the good things.
It's great, I say.
We make them and bake them and serve them with pride at Showbiz Pizza Place.
Showbiz Pizza Place. Great fun and great pizza.
Come for the pizza and stay for the fun.
At Showbiz Pizza Place.
Yeah, it was kind of like a precursor to Chuck E. Cheese, and honestly, I never would have even noticed this guy at Goodwill if it hadn't been for Greg over at Rocky Mountain Resale posting about the value of these Showbiz Pizza collectibles. This is a Billy Bob piggy bank. You can see the slot there, and he's got the plug down at the bottom, still even got the sticker on the bottom. But I paid $2 for this at Goodwill, and it sold for $58 on eBay after a couple of months. Picked up this vintage Glanville Motorsports hat in a bundle with some other hats. Paid maybe $1 for it. It's vintage, made in the USA. Definitely a pretty cool hat. It sold for $24 after probably a year. So I consider myself a hard-working man, and I don't spend a lot of time chasing that or cruising up and down that red dirt road. I'm at a thrift store usually, looking for items like this. This is a 2003 Brooks & Dunn t-shirt. Found it at a thrift store for $1, and it sold after less than a week for $19.50. It boot scooting boogied right on out of here. Got a vintage Carolina Panthers t-shirt going out. Picked this up at Goodwill for $1.50, and it sold in a couple of months on eBay for $19.95. This is a pair of vintage AMF Harley Davidson like riding bibs, almost like snow bibs. They're from the 70s. Paid up for these things. Paid $25 from a thrift store when I was out thrifting with Baldy Pal, and this was on our way to the Prison to Profit convention last year. So I've had these for quite some time, and like I said, I paid $25 for them. I was thinking that I could sell them for like $125, $150. Well, after almost a year, I finally got an offer of $75. Decided to take it. I rarely pick up Nike Shox anymore. They seem to take forever to sell, at least for me, and this pair is no different. I've had these since, I believe, November, and they finally sold for $39.50 on eBay. I paid $6.50 for them from Goodwill. Some bread and butter sales, but they all add up. This is a vintage Carolina Auto Supply House hat and a vintage Pepsi Columbia Operations hat. Paid $1 for each one of these, and they each sold for $21.95. Took a while to sell, but these things always it kind of adds up. I love this shirt and honestly wish it would fit me, but it's not my size. I paid $1.50 for this Animal from the Muppets t-shirt at Goodwill, and it sold for $29.95 on eBay. So I actually found this single ping G5 wedge at a pawn shop. I had to pay up for it, paid $20 for it, but I knew it would sell quick and for some decent money. It actually sold for $60 on eBay in about a week. So this is my, not friend, but maybe acquaintance, Cocky. As you can tell, we may or may not get along real well, but I paid $1 for him at a garage sale. He's a vintage USC Gamecocks head cover. He may actually be a puppet, I'm not real sure, but I listed him as a head cover and paid $1 for him at a garage sale, and he sold for $34.95 on eBay after a couple of months. So I've basically quit buying 45s. I used to pick them up at garage sales if they were really cheap. I'd get like a couple hundred of them for $5 or $6 and go through and look up each one and see if I could find one that was actually worth reselling. Most of them weren't. That was a lot of work, so I kind of quit buying them. Well, that means I've had this one for probably 2 or 3 years. This is Too Long by Denny Denson, and it just sold for $40. I was pretty excited to find this Kirby's Dream Land game at a garage sale because I'd never find any good video game stuff. Picked it up for $1 and it sold on eBay for $34.50. Pretty neat t-shirt here. This is a vintage Georgia Tech My Kid and Money Go to Georgia Tech t-shirt, probably from the early 80s. Paid $1.50 at Goodwill, and after about 2 months it sold for $22. So did I mention that I love finding Patagonia stuff? Picked up this men's lightweight pullover called a Better Sweater at Goodwill for $5.75, and it sold in a couple of weeks for $64.50. I'm always amazed at the stuff that I find at thrift stores. Like, who donates a brand new pair of Carhartt pants that still have the tags on them? Picked these up for $5.75 at Goodwill, and they sold for $35 in about a week. So I'm kind of a Disney nerd. I love finding Disney stuff. So when I found this Epcot 2000 vintage t-shirt at Goodwill for $1.50, I certainly wasn't going to leave it behind. Got it listed on eBay, and it sold after about a week for $24.95. Also, leave me a comment down below and let me know what your favorite Disney World park is. Mine's Animal Kingdom, probably because I used to work there, but leave me a comment, let me know what yours is. So I mentioned to you guys earlier about the lot of ping putters that I bought on Facebook Marketplace, and I told you that it would mostly sell for between 30 and $40. Well, I kind of told a fib. This one, the Ping Pal 5KS, did actually sell for $36, but this Ping Answer putter sold for $68.50. And honestly, it's nothing really special about it other than it's left-handed. Left-handed clubs are definitely more rare. They command a higher price. Like I said, this one sold for $68.50. If it was a right-handed Ping Answer, probably wouldn't sell for more than 40 bucks. So pretty good find. So I sold the Grinch, and you guys may remember him from my last video. I'm kind of surprised that he sold this quick, but he's from the 2000 live action movie starring Jim Carrey. Picked him up at Goodwill for 50 cents, and he's sold in about a week for 50 bucks. Probably could have got a little bit more closer to Christmas, but I'm happy with that sale.